suffer. But to survive, well, that's to find a meaning in the suffering. Hey, I'm slipping, falling, can't get up.
Here we go. I'm here with the man himself, J Money, in the building. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Bro, I like this fit, man. You stay geared.
I try, man.
J Money got the fit, the chain. Hey, tell me one thing, bro. Like, where do you be getting your outfits from? Like the belt, you know, the shirts, the jackets, man. You come through with all different types of jackets, especially this one, man. Like, what's the style, bro? I love it, bro. Where you be getting your jackets from?
Well, I kind of don't ask, don't tell, but I just kind of order a lot of my stuff. I try not to look like the next man, you know?
Yeah. I like it. It's a different type of style, bro. Like, these jackets are amazing. I done seen you with the Kid and Play jacket. I done seen you with multiple different jackets with different designs. And I'm like, damn, bro, it's really, really stylish.
Man, like I say, I just try to, look sharp, man. That's all.
Right. Man, how important it is to be unique out here. You say you don't want to look like everybody else. How important is it just to stand out? Because you got a lot of people just doing the same stuff and, on that same kick.
I think it's very important, to do something to kind of stand out a little bit. Not something that draws too much attention to yourself, but something that, that fits you and something that's, not like everybody else. Because like you said, everybody is kind of moving to the same beat. Me, I try to move to my own beat of my own drum.
Right. Man, like I said, there's a lot of people being the same, so you on a totally different path with your outfits, everything else, man. It's all about being innovative because there's a lot of people that's just doing the same thing, man.
Definitely.
It's good to be that red fish and kind of stand out a little bit.
Yeah, true that. True that.
What's this tattoo on your arm, man?
It just says, fear God. It just helps me to kind of remind myself, in case I go too far or if I forget, this is where, it always brings me back to reality. Because, God is always first in my life. He's been first in my life ever since I was a kid.
Right.
And even through my adult life, I got very evidence and proof that, God has been real in my life. So I'm truly blessed and I'm truly humbled to be here.
When you put God first, wonderful things will happen, man. Do you feel like a change is coming in your life right now, man? Have you been blessed throughout the years, man? What type of struggles and what type of blessings have you went through coming up in life?
Well, I've been through, a lot. I feel like my story is very unique. I basically consider myself the underdog. So I've always rode with that mentality and just kind of rode it, throughout middle school, throughout high school, and even when I went to college and just in life in general on different jobs. And even now in the job I currently have, I've always kind of been a guy that had to work harder, or I got to show you again and again why I deserve to be here versus the person that kind of just gets it right the first time or everything just clicks instantly, So that's kind of how I do it.
Right, that's how I am too, man. Coming up, man, I would want to say I'm still am the underdog to a certain extent, but coming up, I was really the underdog, man. Like, it was just hard for me to just come out my shell because I was so quiet, so shy, so nervous, and I cared what other people thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it kind of bought me to have low self-esteem. I was real shy around women, and I'm like, damn, because I kept caring what these people thought of me, and I'm like, I think it's like when I graduated high school, all that shit just was like, okay, let me just stop this and then focus on me as a person.
Yeah, I can attest to Touche that was kind of a little bit of, my upbringing as well, especially throughout high school and stuff like that. You always, at that moment in time, unless you're just one of those people that got it like that, usually think kind of like that, as far as trying to impress people or trying to do stuff to appease this person or do this to fit in, so to speak. But yeah, kind of similarly, I kind of let that type of stuff go, kind of once I got to senior year, that's when it started to click then, to really kind of, let that go and just, you know, embrace, you know, who I really am. And, you know, not that I fronted all the time about who I was, but kind of to, you know, start coming out of my shell a little bit as well.
I know what it's all about, just coming out of your shell and just being a free spirit to a certain extent, being you. And if people don't accept it, then you don't need them in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
There's, especially now with the pressure of social media and all these platforms, and everybody sees everything.
Everybody do see everything. They hear everything.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing is not a secret no more. Definitely.
Would you consider social media a gift or a curse?
I think it's both. I think it's a gift because of, you know, networking and, you know, just reconnecting, you know, with, you know, either old friends or family or people you kind of lost touch with that you kind of really, you know, don't have their context anymore. Because most people, not everybody, but most people have at least one form, if not two, of social media. So I think that's the blessing and the good side of it. The curse could be, you know, some people tell too much of their business. Some people put too much on there.
Right.
Some people, instead of talking to, especially people that are in relationships or have relationships, they kind of tell social media the problem or what's going on instead of telling the person that's like right there with them or in the same room. They rather make a big post. And the crazy part is when you make a post, then you get all these people that's in the comments, you know, that's going to judge and critique and say stuff. And, you know, it's best to just, if you got something going on personal or something that you kind of don't want out there, talk to the person you have the issue with, not social media. You know what I mean? Unless you got 500 plus friends or some friends that are just non-judgmental and got your back or just are giving you reasonable criticism. It's not worth it. You know, I would tell anybody out there, you know, if you thinking about putting your business out there on social media, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it for everybody. Some stuff is not for everybody to see. Or everybody to hear. You know, that was the mystery of back then is, you know, everybody didn't need to know and hear certain things about you or about your situation or about life. You know what I mean? Now, if you out there and you somebody that need help, you know what I'm saying, like mentally, because there's some people that post, you know, suicidal stuff and things of that serious nature that got mental stuff going on. Definitely, because if you feel you can't talk to nobody and you can't reach nobody, and you put that out there, you'll get some people that'll, you know, come out there and, you know, take that stuff very seriously. So I've seen some posts like that and people get, the comments fill up instantly, you know, because a lot of people, some people don't really realize how good or how much people really do care for them while they're still on this side. A lot of people don't really see it or feel it, you know, or hear it until, you know, you 6 feet under, or until you in the coffin, or you in jail for a long time and you away. So, you know, and it shouldn't take that. It should take, you know, people getting their flowers and getting their just due while they're able to smell them, while they're able to hear, while they're able to see and feel that love, instead of, you know, people wait until the end and the person can no longer feel it or see it. You know, I think that's just wrong.
The sad truth is nobody really cares about you until you're dead.
Yeah.
That's the sad truth.
Unfortunately.
I'm like, dude, give me my flowers while I'm here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who do the smear campaigns on Facebook and all that, they just do it for attention in general. And people are sitting there with their popcorn. But people don't realize is you're doing that smear campaign, you're putting their business out there. What happens if that person might pass away the next day? Or that smear campaign that you put on Facebook can cause that person to go into a depression and then eventually kill themselves.
Yeah.
So you have to realize what you do has a cause and effect reaction. And when you put it out to the world to see, not only are you actually making yourself look bad, because these people commenting and saying, oh, or feeling sorry for you or judging you with the comments or whatever, they don't care about you. They just want to show.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people some people that do all that stuff, it is for show and tell. But I mean, if someone's putting, that they having suicidal or thoughts of, killing themselves,
Yes.
or talking about they're going through depression or mental issues,
Yes.
you have to take it seriously. Whether that's a cry for attention or not,
Right.
you have to take it seriously, because like you just said, someone could be crying out for help,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you said, the next time you hear about them, they're dead.
Right.
Or they then drove themselves crazy, or
Right.
you don't want to be that person that didn't care or was insensitive and been like, well, damn, you playing or you hustling, so
Right.
I ain't gonna take what you saying seriously, or taking what their cry for help as a joke.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's unfair to the person, whether they're, like I said, playing or not, whether it's a cry for help or not. We should do what we can to try to help each other. That's the ultimate goal, is to try to help each other. Now, you can't save everybody. Everybody's not going to align with what you align with, but if you can try to help as many people as you can, if you are able to do so, even if it's just a simple conversation, even if it's just a simple "don't do this" or a simple "I understand, I feel you, let's talk about this," you could save a life for somebody from doing that.
Facts. Facts. How important is it for you? You're a good person. You always got a smile on your face. Always happy. Always, just having a good time. How important is it for you to lighten up somebody's day? Because there's a lot of people that are in bad moods, but you come around, you start dancing, you start having fun, and then they totally forget about their problems. So you're so upbeat. How important is it for you to kind of stay in that state of just happiness, man? Because you're a happy person.
I think it just comes from within me. You know what I mean? I think it's just one of the many of gifts that God has blessed me to have, is to kind of be a light, and I just try to shine as brightest as I can every day that I'm allowed to wake up. And like you said, you never know, somebody could see what I'm doing, or come across me, or feel the energy that I have, and it just splats off on somebody else, and it's just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be worried too much about this, or maybe this isn't so bad. So I just, in all seriousness, I just try to, just be, the light that I'm, called to be, and just, make it happen. I mean, it's nothing that, I do, let's say, for attention, or nothing I do to try to, appease people. It's just who I am and what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Hold up, dog. This is good. I was just making sure this motherfucker recording. Yes, which it is. All right. Good shit. All right, let me get back in the zone. Ooh, shit. All right. Damn. It is crazy when you get up, your mind just oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, shit. That was a good combo. Okay. So growing up, what was life like for Justin Long, just coming up as a young child into an adolescent? I'm not going to go to adulthood yet, but just coming up as a young child to adolescent and middle school.
Well, I mean, I grew up under, a single mother, so unfortunately for me, I didn't, really have the father figure or father role in the house with me, because my mom was not married. And it sucked, because, as a, young boy, especially young, black boy coming up, you always want to have, a positive male role model or influence in your life. And unfortunately for me, I didn't receive that. So I didn't know what it was like to have the love of a father, a love of, a man that really cared about me. Until I got slightly older, when my mom was dating this one guy named Fred. He was kind of the only guy that she had around me that I kind of actually trusted and I actually liked. And he was, solid for the time being. But outside of that, it was tough. Because like I said, I was the only child, so stuff happens or something, get broke, or something happened at school. It's everything is all me. I ain't like I got siblings, to be like, hey, it's your fault, or it's this person's fault, or that person's fault.
Right.
Everything fell on my shoulders, so it was tough. And You know, my mom, for the most part, you know, she did, you know, the best with the cards that she was dealt. So I don't, you know, take anything away from what she did do and what, you know, she tried to do and what she was able to do, given that she was not married and my father was not actively in the picture.
Yes.
So, you know, as a young boy, I always was involved in like sports. So sports became a big part of my life when I was, you know, a little boy. My mom made sure I stayed active, stayed in sports. I literally played every sport except for like volleyball and tennis. But
Okay.
yeah, I played basketball, I played football, I did baseball, I did track. So I was a very active and athletic, you know, young boy as a kid.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. You know, just did you feel like it seems like you had a big responsibility at a young age to a certain extent. Just your mom being a single mother, and you know, were there times where you had to step up to the plate and take care of things?
Yeah,
for you and your mother.
Yeah, you know, I mean, not necessarily where I had to, you know, carry, you know, everything, but yeah, as a young boy, there was times I basically had to be like the man of the house because, you know, like I said, she wasn't married and, you know, my father wasn't there. So yeah, I felt as a young boy that, yeah, I had to always, you know, be around. I always had to, you know, help out even more than the average, you know, kid. I had to basically kind of grow up faster, if that makes sense. I had to kind of grow up faster than the average boy because we were in a one-parent home. Now, obviously, I had my grandma, but, you know, my grandma lived in her own house. And so I had to, you know, basically do different things to basically help my mom out and be the first responder.
That's perfect, man. You know, I'm sure that molded you into the man you are today, because having that type of responsibility, that's a big load. That's a big load, and sometimes what we deal with in our childhood molds us into who we are as an adult. You know, it builds character with us. So going through the struggle actually helps us build more character as we become older. You know, more understanding, because life can be tough no matter where you grow up at. It doesn't matter. Different responsibilities holds different measurements at times.
Yeah, definitely.
So, coming up, middle school and high school. Did you go to a Kansas City, Kansas middle school or Kansas City, Missouri middle school? What did you come up with, you know, in school in general?
I went to a lot of different schools when I was in middle school and high school. It started out, I was in Missouri. I went to King. That school would make have Martin Luther King turn over in his grave, because that school was nothing like how Martin Luther King would lead. That school was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Then I went to Paseo, and Paseo was the school that I really liked.
Yeah.
It was the school that I really enjoyed because it was an academy, kind of like Sumner was in Kansas.
Okay.
But it was the school I liked. But when we had to leave Missouri, that was one of the worst things ever, because I was finally in a school that I liked.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship at the time, so it
Oh,
hurt.
okay.
Yeah, so it was a whole lot of different things that.
So you had a fling. You had a fling in middle school. You know, some of those middle school flings and crushes or dating in middle, those were some of the best times. You know, like.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't social media, so nobody was in your business, and
right.
Not even just that, but it was, you know. It was a lot more interaction because you had to interact with people in person, because
it's totally
it wasn't even really much internet, and even the internet that was around was AOL, and AOL take forever to load.
Right.
So nobody had the patience to sit there and wait for America Online to just come up. So you had to go outside and play. You had to go to neighborhood watch meeting, block meetings. You had to get involved,
right.
You know, hands on. Yeah, you had to socially. Yeah, it forced you to socially involve.
Yeah.
to me it was the best of times because you didn't have to hide behind phones and cameras and computers and laptops and stuff like that. You had to get your ass up and go outside and go play with the kids. Like if you was a boy, you had to go play with the guys when they play basketball. They play football in the street. That was the stuff that I grew up under, and that was the stuff that I enjoyed. You know,
it was good
I
times.
missed it. Yeah, I missed it. You
Good
know,
times.
I missed it. It was definitely dope. You know, obviously when cars came, you had to, you know, be careful, and you know, you didn't want to throw a football through nobody's car, or that was gonna be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
But and then basketball was because it was competitive. It was social interaction, and then the younger kids always was around the older kids because, you know, we picked their brains.
Right.
Just like, you know, youngins today, you know, some of them, not all of them, some of them try to pick our brains. So that's what it was about is, you know, the social interaction. And then obviously girls are always around because, you know, back then it was always one or two or three that lived in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
you know, and it was always one that thought she was the boy of it. So she'd get out there and hoop or get out there and play sports with the guys. There was a tomboy in every group, you know. So that's kind of how I got to talking to the girl I got to talking to at the time because she was a hooper.
Oh, okay. Y'all have something in common then. Okay.
Right. She was a hooper, so it was kind of like a love and basketball kind of story.
Yeah, okay. Just like that.
I didn't push her down, though, America. I didn't push her down like he did, you know.
Right.
You know, like Quincy did young Monica. I didn't do that, but we were competitive like that because her name was Riskian, and she was good. So it was tough. And obviously, you know, you back then, you get beat by a girl in the sport, it was the worst thing in the world.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, especially if, you know, it's a guy sport. Right, you know, you get beat by a girl in basketball or football, and it's like, what the hell? You got beat by a girl. So it was the street cred that you didn't get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, girls, they were always, you know, around and could play, but it's just nobody took them seriously enough then as, you know, female athletes or female competitors like that.
Yes.
Because, you know, girls were supposed to be playing with dolls and in vanity mirrors and playing with makeup and hair, not playing basketball and football and being a boy. You know.
Well, it's crazy. You know, it's just it's just how people adapt to their environment. I remember I was interviewing Telly, and she said that she was like a tomboy on the block. She was like one of the dudes.
Yeah, it's always one. See, it's always one.
Yeah, so it does make sense. You know, you kind of adapt to your environment. You know, so I think that's pretty good to a certain extent. That's pretty good. You know, at that time, a lot of the females. We adapted to our environment, and the block became like a close-knit family, you know?
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Because everybody looked out for each other back then. The elders, I mean, back now, people would consider them snitches, but back then, if you lived in a certain neighborhood or a certain block that was full of people and stuff, and and you've been living there for a while, people would always look out for people and stuff like that. So if they see some suspicious stuff going on, or they see this and this happening, people called each other, they communicated, they would come out if something wasn't right, or, you know, a fight broke out, or, you know, somebody that wasn't living there came in there and tried to destroy the neighborhood. People would do what they got to do to get the person or persons out of the neighborhood, because when we lived in Missouri, our neighborhood was like that. Our neighborhood was tough, tight, where everybody knew who lived in the neighborhood. Everybody know everybody's car. Everybody knew who lived in this house, that house.
Sure.
You know, so it was dope. You know, it was dope that the neighborhood was connected in that way, because it made living in the neighborhoods and in the streets back then, it made it feel more safer, because, you know, you knew not too much foolishness was going to go on, because the parents in the neighborhood didn't play. And, you know, back then, the parents didn't just, you know, tell you to go outside to get out of their face, and the parents wouldn't sit out there, or no adults would sit out there and watch you, you know, or they would just go in the house and go to sleep, or go watch TV, or go do some other stuff, and just the kids would be out there till the police is knocking on the door, or until some neighbor that's pissed off that your son hit her son, or her daughter hit your daughter, and that type of stuff. It wouldn't be like that. Back then, the adults sat outside and watched everything. So if something did jump off or something did happen, they can diffuse it instantly, instead of letting the police get involved, or it get to a serious point where somebody bleeding or somebody is really hurt.
It was more controlled.
Yeah, it was way more controlled.
And if there was any type of beef at all, the parents will meet up with both parents, and then we'll have the kids squash it together.
Yeah, exactly.
So the parents will be like, "Hey, it ain't going down like this.
Yeah.
Y'all shake hands, y'all squash it.
Right.
We ain't have none of this shit."
No.
But nowadays, you look at nowadays, there is none of that.
No.
These kids are picking up guns. Like, the person you went to middle school with is trying to kill you right now.
Yeah.
They can hate you in grade school, and then middle school, they want to kill you.
Yeah, they
then high school, like my boy A1 said in the other interview, you probably will get killed.
Yeah,
it's different.
It's bad now, Jackie. It's even people bringing guns in the elementary schools.
Wait, in the elementary?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It was a dude, I think that,
Jesus.
mind you, this is a grown-ass man. It was a story that they had, and he brought a gun to try to shoot up some babies. Babies. In elementary school because he got bullied there years ago. This is a grown-ass man walking into an elementary school with preschooler, kindergartners through 5th graders. What the hell are you as a grown-ass man bringing a strap into school with kids that are young as 5 and 6 years old? The oldest is probably 10, maybe 11, depending on when the birthday falls. You want to come in there and bring a damn gun to shoot what?
Right.
Why?
Right.
What them little kids and the kids that are in the school currently had nothing to do with you getting your ass whooped when you was there.
Right.
This is a totally different generation of kids.
Right.
You way grown and long out of school by then. You ain't like you in middle school and you a one level up. Even then, it still wouldn't be right. But you bringing a school in there to shoot babies? Why?
There's no validation for that.
That's stupid.
And people like that, they're steady stuck on their past to the point where they can't get out of it. So they want to blame other people for their past. No, you could be an innocent person or anybody. But they just want to take their blame. They want to take their hate out on everybody because they had a messed up, traumatizing childhood getting bullied. But rather than fix the problem themselves and fix the person they are within themselves and become better, they can't do that. So they take the blame out on other people, and they end up destroying or even killing people because of that.
Yeah, sad world we live in. Pray for our babies, man. Our babies, man. Protect them at all costs.
If you had anything to say to this generation, because we're considered the older generation now.
Yeah, we are.
And the 18-year-olds, maybe even 20-year-olds. Like, if you would give any advice to them right now as a older influencer, what would you tell them?
I would tell the guys that it's okay if you never caught a body. It's okay if you've never, shot a gun. It's okay if you never hit the block. It's okay if you never, did anything on that level. It's not it's not uncool if you ain't never did all that shit. You don't have to do all that stuff to fit in. You don't have to do all that stuff just to be a part of something. You don't have to do that just to make money or just to do this or just to do that. And I understand that certain circumstances come around and certain people, like you were saying, like I was saying, where I had to be, the man of the house, and I had to, step up and do different things because I didn't have a father or didn't have anybody around. So I understand the need of cash and needing to, having to get a job quickly or having to get some money in the house because, mama is breaking her back and, you gotta do something. But there's plenty of legal, clean opportunities out there that you can get, and college, it ain't the only answer, but think of college first. But if college ain't the answer, I would tell them to go to trade school because that's what my grandma wanted me to do. I was the unfortunate kid that wanted to go to college because I thought college at that time was the only way to do it. But now that I'm obviously older, I would have likely took my grandma's advice and went to trade school because the trade school thing was way better. And it is way better. You only go to school for a year and you get to learn a skill and you get to come out with a job in that skill quickly. Like you can take a year, plumbing class or electrician class, and those jobs are paying you instantly big money.
Right.
And you get the degree and you get the high paying job all within a year time. Whereas school, you in school for 4 to 6 years or however long, and you're in debt when you come out, and the job that you went to school for might not even be there, so you got to take a lower end job just to try to pay for the schooling that you just took.
Yeah, it's a hustle. It's a hustle.
Yes, it's a hustle.
You gotta be extremely
And I would
careful.
tell obviously the young ladies out here, you know, if I was talking to the young ladies out here, that you know you don't need to do anything to appease a guy. You don't have to show everything. You don't have to exploit yourself or do all this different stuff you see on TV, and you don't have to do what Cardi and Megan. You don't have to do what they do in order to get attention, in order to feel validated. You should feel validated within yourself, and you should feel validated as a woman, as a young girl, yourself, and if you ain't got no queens around you pumping you up and telling you the right things to do, not all this, rah-rah stuff and this twerky stuff and all that stuff is it take care of itself. But, you need to you surround yourself with a group of females that are going to uplift you, that's going to speak life into you, that's not going to put you down, and that's going to put you in the best position to be successful, because you don't have to do what this chick is doing or that chick is doing, and you don't have to make your moves aligning with what a guy does or doesn't do. You have to do things for yourself and do things to better you. And then if the guy that you're after or the guy that you want doesn't respect that, then he ain't the guy that you need to be with in the first place. But never make moves according to the guy. Always make moves, for you and yourself. Never settle, and never settle for less. Never settle for less.
Facts. There's too many people out here settling for less due to the fact they don't want to be lonely. So they deal with that pain for years and years, and they finally wake up from it, and they're like, they're lost. They're like, what have I been doing? And by that time, it has taken a mental toll on their health, physical appearance.
Yeah.
Just by settling for less and not knowing your value and not getting out on time.
Yeah.
Being with that same person you've been miserable with for years, trying to cover up an illusion that's not really real.
Nope.
There's no love, but it's an illusion.
Right.
That you keep feeding yourself into, trying to change a person that really doesn't want to be changed.
Nope. That's exactly what it is. And you'll waste off time and life trying to change people and trying to do that. You'll wake up, you'll go to sleep 18 and wake up 28. That's how fast life is going. You'd be surprised when especially when you're doing seem like the wrong thing, or you're not doing the right stuff. Time just blazes on by. And it just goes, and life is just going to keep going. So you definitely got to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and that's both with the young guys and the young girls. Y'all both got to take care of yourselves. You can't settle for, being with this person just because it feels good, or just because this person is saying all this or doing things for financial gain and, all that type of stuff. That stuff wipes out, real relationship and real stuff. It's a partnership. It's not a gimme, or he needs to do this or she need to do that. It's not about the gender roles. It's about two unperfect people coming together and doing things for the betterment of each other. And you compliment me, I compliment you. It ain't about, because you a woman, you supposed to do this, or because you a man, you supposed to do this and supposed to do that. It's never been intended for that way. But somehow within the last decade or so, the generations have changed the narrative and kind of ruined, relationships, because a lot of the stuff that, we glorify and the stuff that we've taught people, because a lot of the stuff we've taught this generation, or they've seen it from us and how we are, and they pick up on it, or like I said, they see it in the music, they hear it on reality TV and all that about, if he want to be my man, he got to give me this, or if she want to be my woman, she got to do this.
Right.
When it wasn't intended for that.
Can't get